All right. So, what'd you guys say? Actually, let's just do a raise of hands since it's one or the other. Raise your hand if you say that meteorologists predict climate. How about weather? Awesome. Okay, Angel, why did you guys say weather?
We're not really sure.
You're just going along with the group here?
We have an explanation.
You do have an explanation. By all means.
So, you see, I got this for myself, that the climate actually takes thousands of years to determine, so.
Okay. Takes thousands of years to determine. Okay. Was there more to what you were saying, or was that it?
That's all that's, yes.
So kind of by opposite, like by disproving one, you've proved the other. Is that kind of where you're going with the statement? That's okay. All right, go Haley.
They predict the weather by, it's just kind of like week by week. They don't really do it. It's just kind of like a week by week analysis about what it's going to be like.
Okay. Tell me more. Go.
So the climate takes like thousands of years to determine, and it doesn't change day to day like the weather does. They don't really need to predict what's going to happen.
Tell me more. The weather is a week by week analysis. Tell me more about that. If you said weather, why did you say weather? Michaela, why did you say weather?
Because it's not climate. I don't know.
Tell me more about what you mean by that. I mean, I kind of understand, but I'm not quite. If you wrote that on a test, because it's not climate, I probably wouldn't give you credit for that because I don't know what you mean. So tell me what's going on in your brain that tells you that it's not climate.
Climate is over a longer period of time.
Okay.
So
Friends, I'd like for you to be quiet so you could show respect to your classmate who's speaking. Go ahead.
So when the weather people are on TV or whatever, they're saying what the weather is that day or the week.
Right. So the meteorologists, you've all seen them on TV, right? Standing with the green screen and they're pointing at the wall and it looks all cool, right? And when they do that, what they're telling you is what the weather's going to be like tomorrow, right? Or 4 hours from now or next week or whatever, right? So the meteorologists are discussing or predicting, right? Depending on what part of their job they have, okay? Discussing now and just the near future. I feel like I saw, Elena, were you going to say something? Were you going to add something to that?
Kind of. You can't predict climate because it's in the past, kind of. Because it's averages over hundreds of years.
Okay. So I hear a lot of people telling me things about climate. So I want to hit the climate thing real quick. I want to hit it right now so we understand it. So first of all, does climate change?
Yeah.
Listen to that phrase. Does climate change?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely it does. That is the biggest problem that we as humanity right now face. Okay? So I want you to write that down right now. Climate can change. In fact, regardless of whether humans are there, regardless of whether humans screw it up or not, climate absolutely does change. And we're going to look at that in the next few days. Okay? So that's number one thing I want you to know, is that climate actually does change. During the last ice age, this was all snowy. I guess it's snowy right now, Miss Corbling, but it was snowy for hundreds of years, right? It was snowy for a long time. That was a different, Iowa was in a different climate at that time. So I want you to keep that in your brain. Climate absolutely does change. But is the change very sudden? No. It can happen, but it takes a while to change, right? It does change, but the change occurs over a long period of time. Okay? So that's the first thing that I want you to remember and to know is that climate does change, but the change occurs over a long period of time. Okay? Second point. Can we predict what's going to happen to the climate?
Yeah.
If we couldn't, we would have no idea that global warming is occurring. We would have no idea that in the not too distant future, Miami is going to be underwater. We would have no idea that the ice caps are melting and will melt. Are you with me there? We absolutely can and must predict the change. But is it meteorologists that predict that change? No. There's a name for those people. Okay, there are lots of them and they do this. They're called climatologists. Okay? Climatologists don't study weather, they study climate. Yeah. Climatologist. I think they spelled that wrong, but that's okay. A climatologist studies climate. They study about and predict what's going to happen to the climate in a given area. Okay? But if you want to know whether you're going to need your rain boots or a sweater or your flip-flops next week, you don't call the climatologist, right? Now, the climatologist could also listen to the weather and so know that way, right? But they're not the one that's going to be able to tell you in detail why this happens. It's the meteorologists that do that. Okay? Does that make sense? The reason I'm bringing this up, friends, it's a good reason. It's because it drives me absolutely bananas. And I don't know if you've heard this. I don't know if you have snarky friends or you hear snarky parents that during the last 2 or 3 weeks of this beautiful weather that we've had, they say, so much for global warming. Are you with me there? Yeah? It's not warm outside. The Arctic vortex happened. Are you with me there? Yeah? Is global warming weather or climate, friends? Absolutely, it's climate. Okay? The weather from day to day does not dictate the climate. You with me? Okay. There's a difference. I want to make sure you understand it. For sure, that'll be something assessed. But even bigger than that, it's something that I really want you to understand. Okay. So, what's that? No, what'd you say? What's a hoax? Some people do say that, but they're wrong. Yeah. So I am very, no, Colin, I'm pressing the issue on purpose. Okay? Friends, I want you to listen. And the reason I want to press the issue is because, well, number one, I don't think it's a super funny thing. And number two, I want you to understand why. Okay? Because it's you all that are going to have to deal with it. And it's you all that are going to have to make the changes too, right? What?
I just cracked my knuckles. It was like really.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the other reason that I want to bring it up is because it's an important conversation to have. Because there are a lot of people that are in power right now that make the rules that dictate how we interact with our environment that say that it's a hoax. And friends, that's scary to me. And it should be scary to you. Because you're smart people and you know that data matters. Okay? And I'm not going to ask you to believe me just because I say so. but we're going to look at the data. And I want you to understand from the data why climate does change. It changes naturally, but it also has been escalated by, those darn humans. Today, we're going to move on for now, though. Okay? Right now, we are going to look at the rest of the What Causes Climate lab. So last time we were together on Monday, you were working on this lab. We started doing some graphing, and I think while we were together, we graphed or started doing the temperature graph, right?
Yeah.
Okay? Guys, can you just listen for a second? Please just stop talking for a minute. I'm going to tell you the expectations for the rest of the period, and then y'all let you work, okay? So, if my memory serves me, on Monday when we were together, we were graphing the temperature, and you had gotten started, and maybe you already have 3 lines drawn. Maybe you've just started drawing 1. I don't know where you're at. Everybody might be in a different spot. So your number 1 priority is to get that done. Second thing on the list is then to go back and do the precipitation. The precipitation is going to be on the other side of your graph sheet. You need to set up your axes, set them up intentionally and carefully, just like we did. And if you need help with that, talk to your table. And if your table needs help with that, let me know. Okay? So you're going to do the graphing for that. Once you've got those graphs done, you're going to start to analyze the data. You're going to rank the cities from lowest to highest in terms of temperatures, range of temperatures, precipitation. And then you should have already answered questions 1 through 5. Questions 6 through 11, the reading was unfortunately not copied when I put everything together. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, the books are right back there. So that is the other thing that you need to do today. By the time you leave today, or the time you come back tomorrow, this entire sheet should be done. Does that make sense? Okay. Do you have any questions for me before you get started? Okay. There are colored pencils over there. You need to be working. If you're finished, let me know.